I'm Will Gormley, Old Army paratrooper and founder of Operation Wings of Freedom. Our veterans volunteered their lives for our nation. Some have paid the ultimate price. Others live with physical challenges. Many have unseen scars, but survivors pay the price for their service every day, and most veterans battling PTSD feel as if they struggle alone. PTSD is the collateral damage many veterans endure for their service. Over 4 decades after the end of the Vietnam War, the majority of Vietnam combat veterans still deal with symptoms of PTSD. Statistics are constantly reevaluated, but a RAND study reports at least 20% of veterans from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars battle PTSD and/or depression. After a year back at home, that percentage climbs to 31%. But among veterans with traumatic brain injury, the numbers skyrocket. The RAND study shows 50% of veterans battling PTSD don't seek treatment. Out of those who do seek treatment, only half get minimally adequate treatment. With 3/4 of veterans battling PTSD getting minimally adequate to no treatment at all, we should be trying new and different solutions to this problem. As a nation, we need to do better and do more. The system simply can't handle the crisis. Americans must step up and fill the breach. It's clear our veterans battling PTSD need our help and support. But why skydiving? Jumping out of planes? Are you kidding me? To most people, jumping out of a plane seems dangerous and terrifying. It would never occur to them the experience could be therapeutic or beneficial. So why would a veteran battling PTSD want to skydive? Actually, the experience of skydiving has more in common with military service and mental health than people realize. The stress experienced in skydiving has been compared to combat. While the stress may be comparable, skydiving has a positive mental health outcome. Mental health similarities between skydiving and combat include the skill sets learned in the process of skydiving, which have parallels in the mental health field. Much of what counseling does in the clinical setting, skydiving accomplishes in action. The most effective therapies for PTSD are prolonged exposure therapy, PET, and cognitive rehabilitation therapy, CRT. In PET, the participant imagines a situation designed to induce stress, anxiety, and/or fear. The session concludes with a positive solution to the imagined event. The goal is to develop self-confidence and self-worth through successful resolution of the simulation. With CRT, the participant trains the brain to travel down a different neural pathway in reaction to a PTSD trigger. Rather than reacting negatively to the trigger, the person retrains the brain to select a different neural pathway leading to a positive outcome. But all forms of therapy are less effective for the veteran community than for the general public. Why? Perhaps it's the warrior mindset.
Therapy? We don't need no stinking therapy.
But Operation Wings of Freedom isn't therapy or counseling. For veterans, it's an objective to be seized, a mission to accomplish, a challenge to be conquered. It's an opportunity for that veteran to take control of their life and apply what they've learned to the challenges they face. But how does Operation Wings of Freedom accomplish that objective? The program is specifically engineered to bring together unit cohesion with the intensity of skydiving to forge strong relationships and develop powerful skill sets that overcome. Before ever jumping from a plane, the Wings of Freedom unit begins meeting together to learn about skydiving. This not only lays the groundwork for skydiving skill sets, but the foundation for relationships. The unit begins to bond. In the ground school phase of the actual Class A skydiving course, members develop new skill sets by retraining their brains to follow skydiving procedures and protocols before they ever get in the air. New neural pathways are mapped through the brain to follow skydiving drills. As these drills are practiced, Fat cells are packed around the neural pathway with every repetition as insulation. The better insulated the pathway, the faster the electric impulse can cause a response. This process is often referred to as reflex or muscle memory, but it's brain training. By training the brain, the skydiver learns to react to situations with the appropriate positive responses rather than panic. Using the same brain training, when a PTSD trigger is tripped, the veteran can learn to derail negative neural pathways. Instead, the brain is trained to redirect impulses down a new neural pathway towards a positive outcome. Ground school begins to prepare the brain for the sensory overload that will come with exiting the aircraft. The practiced repetition of ground school conditions the brain to default to skydiving procedures. But training is academic until you actually stand in the door. No one is immune to sensory overload. But the more a person practices, the better prepared they become. PTSD is like sensory overload stored in the memory, ready to be triggered at any time. But desensitizing the brain to sensory overload by repeatedly mastering sensory overload is a powerful skill to develop. That process happens during skydiving with every jump. The potential power of Operation Wings of Freedom is engineered into the program. Capitalizing on the intensity of skydiving, strong relationships are forged to create the local support group that is often missing. Through skydiving, the mind develops powerful skill sets that can be applied to PTSD. And Operation Wings of Freedom isn't a therapy, but a mission to be accomplished. While the cost for the first year of treatment for a veteran battling PTSD averages $8,300, a veteran can be sponsored through Operation Wings of Freedom for $7,500. Since our veterans have already given so much, the goal of Operation Wings of Freedom is to provide this program to qualifying veterans without charge. To do that, Operation Wings of Freedom must organize sponsors for each veteran. It only takes 375 people giving $25 apiece to sponsor one veteran through the program. Whether giving individually or teaming up to sponsor a veteran, or a whole class of 8 for that matter, America can easily give back to those who have given so much. You can help our veterans battling PTSD through Operation Wings of Freedom. Give as an individual or take the Operation Wings of Freedom challenge and form a group to sponsor a veteran or a class. But give. If we assume other good-hearted people will act, but don't step up ourselves, nothing will get done. It's up to us. If you know a veteran battling PTSD who could benefit from Operation Wings of Freedom, please direct them to the website and encourage them to apply. Thank you.